Alrighty, so today we are going to be going over some mistakes that beginners and like mid-game, end-game players make, honestly just Dokkan players in general make from time to time, and I want you to make sure that you're avoiding them, and I'm going to tell you what you should be doing instead. That way we can have long-term sustainability with our Dokkan accounts and stuff like that. One of the essential parts of Dokkan and being ready for these big celebrations like the anniversaries of the worldwides, the Tanabatas, which is going to be at the end of June. One thing that's essential and I think kind of just gets overlooked is the fact that we need to continue to play the game throughout the year and grind, do all the content and stuff like that, so that way we have stones and stuff like that. But again, what I want to do today is just go over a few common mistakes that are easy to make, pretty avoidable, and then give you some helpful tips along the way to make sure that you don't like just burn yourself out of Dokkan during the year. It's okay to take breaks every once in a while, but I don't think it's good to just like put the game down for 6 months and then come back. But if that's your prerogative, obviously you can do that. But if you are going to be somebody who plays during the entire year, what I want to do in this video is just show you a few common mistakes that you might make and then what we can do to avoid them. So if you find yourself enjoying today's video, don't forget to leave a like before you go. It helps out the channel a ton and I appreciate all the support. And if you want to join the Discord, go ahead and check out the link in the description. This can also help you out with team building, any questions you might have about the game. We have an active community over there, as well as that is the easiest way to get into contact with me if you have any questions. So let's go ahead and get started with the video. So today we're going to be going over 3 big mistakes, and the first mistake, this is probably the most common one at this point, for sure, and that is summoning on every banner because you just want whatever new toy is in the game at that time. So for an example right here, we have this Cell Dokkan Fest. You see the coolest summon animations, you see that the game has like Cell's voice in it and stuff like that, and you decide, I'm going to summon for this Cell, and you're just going to continue to get to 50 stones and then do a multi. Now, this can work. Some players throughout the year will just have very lucky summons and they only walk away missing a few characters, or your favorite creators summon for every character, use them, they look impressive, and you want to use them too. Nothing wrong with that, obviously. A lot of people play Dokkan as their career, and that's completely okay. But what that should do for you is you have to understand that that is a different perspective, right? That is somebody who is playing the game for different reasons. A, for the love of the game, but B, because, doing content on these characters is important, right? Showing you guys this is how they can help influence your decision on whether or not you should summon for a character, right? Seeing a showcase, asking whether or not you should be summoning for a character. These are important things. So when you are spending your stones constantly getting to 50 and then going back down to 0 every time you get 50, you just rip a multi on whatever's available, right? You see the Pycon and Janemba Easy Age, you're like, oh my god, those look so cool, and you just keep throwing 50 stones at those banners. Before you know it, you're not going to have any long-term sustainable stones or sources of stones, and you've been using your stones on banners that are just not high value, right? Characters that aren't really going to be affecting the bigger picture by the time that you are done with the year, right? Like you have a bunch of filler TURs, and then before you know it, you're just scraping by to get stones for the worldwide celebration, for Tanabata, for the anniversary, and it just puts you in a bad spot. So the first mistake, that is something that you need to avoid. You need to be summoning on the highest value banners for your Dragon Stones, and I think discipline and patience will take you a very long way in Dokkan. The free-to-play players who are going for 2,000 plus days are the ones that know when to use their Dragon Stones, right? Characters that are worth summoning for, or they're just their fan favorite characters, right? Everybody's always going to have their character biases that influence the way their behavior when it comes to summoning, and that's completely fine. I'm not going to tell you that you're wrong for wanting to summon for like a Cell character because you really like Cell. Your profile picture is Cell. You're always talking about how much you like Cell. He's your favorite Dragon Ball villain. You prefer him over Frieza. It's the wrong opinion, but okay. Cell, like you just really like Cell, and you're just like, okay, I'm gonna summon for this Cell just because I really like him and he's my favorite character. That's completely okay. But if you're just summoning to have this Cell just for the sake of having him, that is the big mistake that you need to avoid. So make sure that you aren't just summoning on any banner just because the character is new. You need to check value of banners. Should you summon videos, other creator showcases? These are all very important factors that determine whether or not you should summon. So please do your research before you summon on a banner that you're on the fence about. Sometimes it's easy, like the anniversary, like obviously that's a slam dunk. You want to make sure that you are summoning on that. That's completely okay. But when you don't know, make sure that you do check around. So that's the first mistake. Let's move on to the second one. The next mistake I see players making is more of a laziness one, and this one will really help you out in the long run, and that is the mistake is wasting Kais on characters that you don't need to waste Kais on. These are all Very simple things to do. This is very easy to do because sometimes the game doesn't just like explicitly lay this out. I think at some point it would, but you know, a lot of like the fine print and stuff that you're not really going to be reading into. This is something that could be potentially pretty easy to miss. But again, wasting Kais on free-to-play characters or characters with a name that has another character that's super easy to farm up. So just in case you don't understand how the system works, a character that has the same name as another character can be used to level up the super attack level of said character. So Elder Kais are very premium resources that you should be using for characters that are unable to have their super attack level farmed up manually, right? So for example, LR Super Saiyan 4 standalone Gogeta drops, right? There's not a farmable Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta that you can just use to level him up, right? So that's the time where you're going to want to use your Elder Kais or your Typing Kais or your Dozing Kais, whatever that you want to use to level up super attack level. But if it's a character like Super Saiyan Goku per se, you guys can see I have an example on the screen here on the global, there are plenty of characters that you could use to farm up this Goku, right? You can go and buy them from free-to-play shops, you can farm them from an event drop. There's just a ton of different characters that you can use to level up the super attack level on a character like Super Saiyan Goku. So this is going to be something that is going to help you hold on to these resources, right? These are just extremely important to have and stack up because by the, you know, when you're into the game and you just pull in a new LR, there isn't going to be a worse feeling than getting like the best unit in the game, Super Vegito, right? And then you literally have to wait to get him to super attack level 20, right? So always having, you know, 160, 150 Kais on you at all times is going to be good in the event that you pull like multiple new LRs that cannot be farmed. The way that the game just works nowadays, especially, is a lot of these characters have counterparts of the same name, right? Super Saiyan Goku is like the most common character in the game, but if we were to go to like a character like Brienne, right? She has farmable counterparts. I don't have them on this account, but I know she does, right? Ultimate Gohan. There is a free-to-play version of Ultimate Gohan that you can farm up and get him that way. I think that's something really important to note. Like I can't go through every single example in this video, but like Android 17, there's plenty of Android 17, maybe not future, but Android 17s you can use to farm up, right? Trunks Teen, that's another example. There are ways to get this, and that is going to be something that you need to take major note of because it's just going to make the game easier for you in the long run. You can see how hard I've been grinding this global too. We just have him, and I haven't done it. It's just, I'll just be honest about it. But yeah, so that is something that you need to make sure that you are doing. It is essential to sustainability for your account and leveling up your super attacks and stuff like that. So make sure that you are doing these things, and it's just going to help you out a ton. So let's go ahead and move on to the last mistake for the video. Okay, so the last mistake that I want to cover today is going to be not utilizing what the game is going to be giving you access to. The first thing I want to talk about is the Giru Guide. This is an extremely, very, very underrated mechanic that the game has. Because it's not just like screaming at you like, hey, go here, look at all this stuff it has. You guys can see, you can go through all of this and look through all of your characters that need super attack levels, that can be awakened, that need hidden potential. All of these things that you already have done, you can keep tabs on. You don't need to manually do it yourself, right? I've made videos in the past talking about how you should make like a tag system, add the characters to the tag so that way you know what you need to do. So I would definitely recommend that you check out the Giru's Guide. This is an extremely valuable resource for any player playing this game, right? If you don't know what you're doing, you don't know where to start, what characters to work on, you could just go down the list of the Giru's Guide, and that will be extremely helpful for you. And then the last bit of information we need, we have to go to turn 5 in a fight, and I'll give you an example. Okay, so the next portion of this tip here, I'm going to be showing you guys. This is one that, again, a lot of players know about this tech in specific, but I think there's a kind of an underlying thing, or not maybe an underlying thing, but something we need to talk about here, where what you need to be doing in terms of access to information, let's just pretend that we're all the way in like the final couple phases here of Festival of Battles, and what we need to start doing is finding the super attack and then resetting the application, right? This is giving you access to where the super is going to be. So if we fuse right here, we go to Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, we look around, you can see, okay, this is a really good example because there's no super on this turn. So now we can do the attack right here, we kill the app, and then we go right back in, and we are good to go, right? This is going to just give us access to that information, and now we know, okay, there's no super on this turn. We don't need to think about these things like that, because especially when you're in difficult events and stuff like that, and you don't know if you're going to survive that turn, it's important to have access to this info, because if you don't, you just are potentially risking, you're taking an unnecessary risk. And this game, the easiest way to sort of get by and defeat difficult content is going to be making sure that, I guess the term is mitigating the amount of risks that you're taking, right? And especially in an event like Festival of Battles, or even like a 15-turn event, right? If you don't want to transform yet, you can find the super, quit the app, and then you have access to the information. So definitely want to make sure that you're doing that, especially in an event like Festival of Battles. This is going to be very helpful. So there you go. Just a few mistakes that you guys can avoid, and it's just going to help you out in the long run. So again, if you did enjoy today's video, please don't forget to leave a like before you go. It helps out the channel so much, and I appreciate all the support that you guys leave on every single video. So thank you guys for watching. Like I said, if you did enjoy it, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe if you're new, so that way you don't miss out on any Dokkan content. Dokkan's a little dry right now, but we're still here, and even when the game starts popping again, you can bet your bottom dollar we'll still be here. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you all in the next one.